Still ahead, I will talk with Bill Maher about Governor Sarah Palin. He's an independent. I wonder if she's won him over to the Republican side. First, though, it is time for a few underreported holy mackerel stories today. One of our allies in the war on terror has ordered its troops to open fire on U.S. troops. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pakistan says its army will shoot at American troops if U.S. forces launch another ground raid or air raid across the Afghan border into Pakistani territory. This after local officials in Pakistan say there was a border standoff between American troops and both armed soldiers and tribesmen in Pakistan on Sunday. The Pentagon says it never happened, but local officials tell the BBC and other news outlets that in South Waziristan, very near where U.S. troops are confirmed to have made a ground incursion into Pakistan 2 weeks ago, Americans trying to cross the border into Pakistan were turned back by a whole lot of warning shots fired from the Pakistani side. Now again, the Pentagon says this did not happen. But just to recap, nuclear-armed Pakistan, likely haven of Osama bin Laden, tenuous U.S. ally since 9/11, has ordered its soldiers to fire on our soldiers if they cross a border that we know they have recently been crossing. Pakistan's new prime minister did not exactly calm the spilkus on this today when he told the local press in Pakistan, quote, "We are a nuclear state. We cannot act irresponsibly." Right. Thanks for the reminder and the reassurance. Finally, the House of Representatives has passed legislation about the aftermath of the first Gulf War. The 1991 Gulf War was a short conflict, but there were American POWs and civilians who were tortured or held hostage by Saddam's regime during that war. The most senior American officer among the U.S. POWs in the Gulf War lost 45 pounds and was near starvation after 47 days in Saddam's care. The POWs and their families want to sue Iraq for damages. A U.S. law passed under President Clinton in 1996 says they can, but the White House is fighting them. The White House is fighting the American POWs and threatening now to veto the newly passed legislation that would clear the way for the lawsuit. When our government signed the Geneva Conventions, we pledged never to absolve any country of any liability for the torture of prisoners of war. Many of the POWs were American pilots who were tortured by Iraqis in the same Iraqi prison that's now notorious for how our forces treated Iraqi prisoners, Abu Ghraib. Think the administration has its own liability in mind when it tries to prevent American veterans from suing a foreign government for torture? Where would this fall on the supporting the troops scale?